consciousness. It's the idea of being inside of a book or being inside of a work of someone else's mind, and the mind in a lot of ways communicates in dreams, and I think people subconsciously communicate in dream images. That's the way to go. Anyway, so if you read this, it's Mary Z. Stewart talking about William Blake's Thel. So anyway, it's the Book of Thel. Prologue. This reading, this work that she wrote was the Book of Thel, Amplifying Text as Dream. Prologue. This reading of William Blake's The Book of Thel was set in motion by the intimation that if, as Patricia Barry suggests, dreams may be read as texts, then a literary work, especially one so clearly imaginal, there we go, might fruitfully be read as dream. Such an approach envisions dream as oneros, as image in which there can be no priority. All is given at once, all events affect and simultaneously constellate each other. On the face of it, this approach has two distinct advantages with regard to psychological interpretation of literary texts. It first affords interpretive entry into the literary work without attempting a psychoanalysis or even a mythoanalysis of William Blake. In that way may lie madness of the sort that led Alice to wonder which dreamed it. But like all well-turned critical phrases, the question seeks to discern, to separate, to choose, crinin. In this madness of distinguishing the dreamer from the dream, one runs the risk of getting lost in one or the other, and thereby losing both. So our approach to the dream text will not avail itself of any Blakean personal associations, but will instead deal only with what is given in or by the image itself. The second advantage of this approach is that the Book of Thel, like many dream sequences, tells a story, a fragment of the soul history, yet to approach the image merely by telling its story too often renders it a kind of case history, and thereby moves the dream into a critical rather than a psychological direction. A reading of dream as oneros must speak the language of psyche. To stay with, or perhaps more properly in, the text, to relate rather than critically discriminate, we may take Barry's remark that there is no way out of myth but only a way more deeply into it, as being equally true of the dream text. That's a fascinating article that I was reading this morning. I try to read every morning for a little while. But where I've been at lately with this incredibly interesting script that I'm working on is the development of the environment versus the development of story versus the development of the persona, and essentially creating a inhabitable world for the viewer.
care about it. You're just fast.
Don't worry. I will look after you. I understand you. I already know you. I've always known you.
So as far as equipment goes, that is what I'm working with. I guess you could see it. I super glued the lens back on because I've got hit by a car. Anyway, yeah, so I've been working around with this guy today. Just some test shots for this movie that I'm working on. Anyway, it's been a long day. I'm beat. That's the end of the vlog. Nikon D3100. Hit by a car, mangled, super glued back together.